with Adam Carolla. Adam, I hear a wall came out and hit you. What happened?
Well, you know, it's these damn instructors. You know, they keep telling you, use all the track, use all the track, use all the track. You know, you clip the corner and then slide out wide and use all the track. So, you know, I used a little bit more than all of the track. That's
You wanted a little bit more than all.
I swear to, a matter of 6 inches or so, you know, it's that kind of sport. But yeah, you try to use all the track, and it's just a little more.
A lot of things are like that.
Yeah.
How you doing, Adrian?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good. You're back again.
I'm back. Can you
Last
believe that?
year
They let me back here.
You had longer hair and a beard. They made you clean up this year.
No, they didn't make me. I decided to kind of get my act together.
You look good. So you're a drag racer as a kid, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Well, you know, when I was young, you know, the guys in my neighborhood and I, we all had muscle cars, and you could buy a car very inexpensively, throw a little bit of money in and make it go fast. We didn't worry about suspension, braking, any of the safety features. That doesn't apply to a track car. So, and there is a skill involved in that. It's kind of more aggression-led, because you have to be able to commit and go full on. That doesn't work, especially with a momentum-based car like this. So you have to kind of change your I mean, it's really seat time in this. You know, the faster car wins in drag racing. These cars all have the same amount of horsepower.
So how'd you learn to do this? You know, we've been 2 years in a row. Where do you pick up the skills?
Well, Danny McKeever's racing course out in Willow Spring was great. Those instructors were really great. You know, and what they taught me basically was to kind of become very self-aware of what I'm doing wrong, correct it in the race, and ride my own race. You know, the first year I put a tremendous amount of pressure on myself to be fast and drive aggressively, and you're competing against yourself.
How you doing?
What are you kidding me? I'm fantastic. It is so fun.
So I saw you talking to one of the instructors. What's going on?
What's going on? They're always teaching, which is great, because I'm like a little sponge and a little nerdy student. I love more information. Oh, there's my car. Isn't it cute?
It's very cute. So how was your first session out?
It was awesome. I was a little concerned before, because it feels like we haven't done this in 100 years, even though we did it, you know, a week and a half ago. But then once the first lap's over, I'm good, you know? I'm comfortable again. It's so fun. I feel like every time I go out there, it just gets more and more fun.
So you're in a maroon car this year. How's that different than last year?
Well, the color is changed. It's a nice maroon.
Okay.
In the 2.4 car. But you know, it's the same course. It's kind of it was a year ago, but it feels like yesterday. And the same mistakes.
So do you feel any faster running with the pros? You know, as you're kind of in that pack, your adrenaline you're playing off the best.
Well, I'm trying to keep the adrenaline under control, because you don't want to push too hard. I mean, a couple of times I've hung out with a couple of guys for a while, but they're much more consistent than I am.
And it comes in a blue box. Congratulations, Zach.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed with my track time. I mean, you know, my best track time was 1:50, which is a couple 2 seconds off what the best are running. So I just don't.
Were you saving it for the race?
I don't think so.
That was every bit of it. Was that the bottom? Was that your A game today?
I think that's all I got.